Greetings, everyone. Welcome. This is now day 4 of Ignite Your Soul Connection. Wow, what a week this has been. I sure hope you are appreciative of the time and energy that these amazing coaches have allocated to share information. It's really going to be an amazing night tonight. And you know, all week we have just been full of knowledge and support and encouragement. So, you know, I really do hope that you have been taking notes. So I want to remind those, you remember, for those of you who have been with us on Monday, um, I believe that we actually introduced MEPS, right, the life quadrant. And D'Angelo had us create a quadrant on a piece of paper, right? Remember, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. And then on Tuesday, we began giving you tools and methodologies to be able to balance those quadrants, right? So on Tuesday, we started with Breathe to Center. Breathe to Center will balance all 4 of those quadrants. It will slow your mind down mentally. It will help you balance your emotions. It will calm your physical state, and it will allow you to tap into your spiritual essence, right? So breathing to center is essential. And then we did affirmations, right? Affirmations will give you, it will give you a focus for your mind so that you won't use your energy for worrying. You're now focused on your affirmations, right? And when you're focused on your affirmations, it's easier for you to calm your emotions. When your emotions are calm, you can hear your intuition speaking to you. So you're then better connected to your spirit, right? And if all that is working, you know, physically you're okay too, right? And then we did meditation. Meditation, again, it calms the mental, it calms the physical immediately. It brings order to that left brain, but then it also gives you the ability to tap into the emotional and the spiritual. And then on Wednesday, we started talking about shadow work. And that shadow work is how we looked at the essence of our emotional life. And so if we're balancing ourselves emotionally, that means that we're heightening our relationship to our spirit and becoming more at one with our soul. Okay? So that shadow work, you know, it's a deep one. It's deep, and it's worth your time and effort and your energy too. And so tonight, we're going to bring it into relaxation, right? How do you really allow yourself to trust the process of life and trust the universe? Well, we have some amazing teachers this evening who are going to share with us that very thing. We're going to talk about Reiki, we're going to talk about music, and we're going to talk about how that brings us into a state of relaxation. And I want you to notice something. Mostly everything that we talk about is something that you can do for yourself. And if you need assistance, you can actually contact one of the Master Force coaches who's available here or our website. So we're giving you everything that you need so that you have an opportunity to take care of yourself. Okay? So let me go ahead and introduce you to who we have joining us and sharing with us. And I'm going to start with the executive coach, who is my right hand. I can't turn over without thinking of what do I need Alanda for today. And she also happens to be my darling niece. So Alanda has been doing this work with Master Force, I believe, since 2013. And however, she has worked with me in many different positions, from transportation to technology to, you know, she's always worked with me. So Alanda, why don't you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll go on to the next coach.
All right. Hello, everyone out there. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Thank you.
All right. Hello, everyone out there. Thank you so much. And yes, I've actually been, oh my goodness, pretty much wherever you were, I followed you. And then
Sweet.
you leave me. But I totally have the honor of doing this work with Master Force. You actually been introducing it to the family for so many years, and I took on to get in there and do it. And I am a coach since 2013. I own my own business. I empower the creative professionals, but I actually do business and business consulting and coaching. And I'll be talking about music tonight.
And Alanda, you're also in Dubuque, Iowa.
Yes, I forgot to. Yes, I did forget that. I don't feel like it tonight, but yes, I'm in Dubuque, Iowa. I've been here almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years in May.
Wow. So thank you again for taking time out to be here. And then the next executive coach I want to introduce is out of Delaware, and she has been with us for a while now too, and she really takes seriously the work that we do here at Master Force, and is always a great team player. And she really has a heart and passion for young people, and it has created many programs for that. So, Aaron, can you come in and introduce yourself? And I see that yep, there you go. So, and Teresa, if you could mute your mic, that would be great. Aaron, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Erin. I've been with Master Force since 2012, which is when I started my journey to becoming a life coach. And I was previously a producer and editor for a major cable network. And I decided that I wanted to do something to make a difference in the world, make the world a better place, make people a little bit more happy. And besides what I do with my company is called Love Life. We specialize in helping people reach their goals and dreams, helping bring people's dreams into fruition, into reality. And besides that, I am currently a teacher and receptionist at a prestigious daycare here in Delaware.
Okay, all right. So we're glad to have you here with us and taking time out too. So thank you, and we're looking forward to hearing you share with us about what music and relaxation tonight, right? Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and then our next coach that we want to bring in is going to be Shnima. She is a master Reiki teacher, and she is one of the newest members of Master Force. Shnima, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? It's so grateful to have you. I'm so grateful to have you here with us.
Hey, so I am a Reiki Master teacher. I specialize in healing the mind, body, and spirit through shifting energy. Before I started doing life coaching, I was working with energy for a few years, but doing the life coaching, I kind of created a way to organize how I do my energy work. I'm also a wound care specialist, and so I've started working specifically with women now, doing a free 10-day jump with them, how I can shift and change their life dramatically within 10 days. And I've been doing that. I'm also starting to work with children. So I do a few different things, all under the belt of Reiki, and I also work with sound and crystals and oils, anything that I could use for healing.
Very cool, and thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for being a Reiki master. Reiki energy is so beneficial to this planet, and it's something that when people take it on, they can really heal their space and actually their whole household, their whole community, just by having and housing that energy within themselves. So thank you for being a channel for that.
And thank you for having me.
Yes. And then one of my dearest friends, my road dog, my sister queen. And so actually, I'm excited to have Teresa here. We've invited her to join us a couple of other times, and so she can finally make it here and share with us. She is my personal closet coach and has really been supporting me in uh, getting my wardrobe together. Actually supported me in taking on my appearance because I could really just walk out the door in my pajamas and be just fine. So thank you, Teresa, for saving me that. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and just what we can expect from you tonight?
So I'm Teresa Lugo, and I am an executive life coach with Masterforce for the last, wow, 3-4 years now. Just can't believe how time is flying by. And what I do now is I help women in their closets. And one of the reasons I became a coach is once I closed my stores and I started doing that work, I just didn't understand what the attachment was when I was doing the work with the women in their closets. It was kind of scary for me. And I started just thinking, okay, what do I do with this? Because I knew there was something deeper that I didn't quite understand. So I reached out to a friend of mine in New York who does the work, and he was like, look, you need to really you need to be certified in life coaching. And I'm like, what? This is just clothes. And you know, I just started going inward, you know. I just started thinking, okay, God, show me what you want me to know, because I didn't understand. I still didn't understand it, right? So once I reached out to you, thank God I found you, my beautiful spirit, and connected with you and started talking about what I was finding was to be a challenge. Started to really get how important. I think I'm going to call about that. How important it is to really understand that the women, their spirits are actually in that closet. They're attached in some mystical way. And once I really wrapped my brain around that, I created a business called Will Style. So now what I do is I go to people's homes, I do their wardrobe, I also do their interior for feng shui, and Alpha Lifestyle. So I do one-on-one coaching. And right now I'm on my first level Reiki because I want to go deeper. And it gets me excited to learn more about the spirit. So you know how what they say, once you take a peek, you want to jump right in. So that's where I'm at now, and that's what I will be sharing about tonight.
Wonderful, and thank you for being here. And I just want everyone to know that we are sending your mother love and light, even as we do this show, and we're asking everyone else to join us in sending love and light to you and your family. And I know that it takes something for you to be here. So thank you, because you're like the baby girl. So I get it. Thank you. Very cool. Okay, so now let's go ahead and begin to talk about Reiki. Now, you heard that we started this week out looking at MEPS, right? The life quadrant. Now, I'm going to ask Nima to go ahead, you know, as the Reiki master and having the energy that you've had and the experience that you've had over time to work with clients. Can you give us an overall definition of Reiki and then really tell us how it fits into MEPS, into the life quadrant?
Yeah. So Reiki is actually tapping into what we call the universal energy, which is loving and it is abundant, it is free. Mm-hmm. As the Reiki practitioner, we are taking in that energy. It almost looks like it's coming into our crown, coming into our body, and it is coming out of our hands, and we use that universal life force energy to help someone who may be in pain. We're helping those that may have stressors within their emotional and their spiritual body. From working within the emotional and spiritual body, we're able to relieve some issues that one may have within the actual physical body. The Reiki practitioner is typically working within the major and the minor chakras. Those chakras, they are connected to all of our glands, and they're connected to days of the week, and they're also connected to our emotions. They're connected to our spiritual side. They're connected to how we communicate with others. They're connected to our sexuality and our creativity, our foundation. By understanding and using the Reiki, it does helps with the meths and within the life coaching, because we do use techniques such as meditation. Within Reiki, there is a meditation that we use called the Gasho meditation, and it's basically the two hands coming together within prayer position, and we are pulling the energy from the universe, and we're pulling the energy from the earth into our heart, and that's allowing us to channel that energy and actually make those shifts and changes that we need to make within ourselves first as the practitioner, and then our clients.
You know, that is so powerful, and it's such a you might want to. It is such a peaceful approach to healing, right? And one of the things that I notice about many of the people in Master Force who are coaches, and especially those that go on to become senior and executive coaches, they are spiritual empaths. So there's a certain sensitivity, right, that comes inside of that. What I would like you to speak to, though, is the person who has no idea, right, that there's an energy, a universal energy available to them that you can actually use and generate for them to heal. How do you actually get them to take that on if they have not been exposed to it? Do you have any insight into that, Kendra? Shnema?
It's fine. I do. So actually, everyone, they are aware of energy. I believe they don't know what it is that they are approaching. So when you come into a room, it could be nothing in the space, and there's something on the inside of you that feels this is a nice, warm space to be in. That is you understanding and recognizing energy. You could also come into that same space, and there's nothing within the room, and you can feel a bad vibe, the frequency, it doesn't feel right. So you want to leave. We have an understanding of energy in the space of, we may not have a definition, but we're able to feel and connect with that energy. We use energy every day, and we're aware of it when you are in pain. If you have a stomach ache, if you're not calling on the Creator, and if you're not calling on Mama or someone to help you, the very first thing that you do, you put your hands on that place, and inside of yourself, within your cellular structure, that there is something that is healing about the touch of your hands, even on your entire body. So we know about it, but we don't acknowledge how beautiful we are as people, how intelligent we are, the intelligence within inside of us. We know exactly what to do. So we can use that Reiki energy for many ways. Like, we all have our own life force energy, and that's what gets us up and moving in the morning when we're feeling low and we need to push through and get through a job or a paper or a project. We naturally know how to use that energy. But when we start talking about the universal life force energy, it's not tiring to us. It's very free to us. We're able to move beyond ourselves. We're not dealing with our own egos. We are allowing spirit to come in and channel that energy and give us what we need to make those changes within our lives, whether it's something that's emotional. A lot of times people have issues, we'll say, within the heart. Most people, and probably most of the people that are tuning into this program, they're givers, they're healers, they're empaths, they're spiritual beings. So we oftentimes have to work on our hearts the most.
Yes.
We feel everything. You know, we're very much so the givers. We could simply, from our heart, know that our prayers and our intentions, we're willing something to us. We want to make a change. That is what you're doing when you're tapping into Reiki. You are removing ego and you are allowing spirit to come in and assist you and allowing the energy to go wherever it needs to go so that you can heal the mind, body, and spirit.
That is so beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Now, Teresa, what would you add to that inside of what Shnema is sharing? What would you add to that from your own experience as you're moving into Reiki?
So it's like you're moving the dial tone on the radio, and you're trying to find your favorite radio station, and you hear all that craziness until you finally tune into your 102.7 or your 107.5, and clarity finally comes. That's how I look at it. It's all the noise that you had from the past, and when you get your attunement, which is from your Reiki master. In my case, I was blessed to have this amazing, powerful Puerto Rican Taino Indian woman, Evie Neves, who I love, and Sanema, you also know her. I love her to pieces. And she just, when we did the attunement, when she did that attunement with me, it seems like my world opened up. Clarity became clarity. I did notice that, and I still notice today, one of the things that I do when I wake up in the morning to tap into that, because it's always with me, obviously. Once you get attuned, you're always open. Portals have opened up. But in order for me to keep that, I have to do my meditation. I have to eat properly. Sometimes I fast, especially when I go into my story or into being angry. I have 11 brothers and sisters, so each day it's a struggle to stay one with that spirit, that gift that I feel that I have, and we all have it, but some of us choose to go deeper and tap into that. And so for me, I think right now what has happened for me is I just really I'm always checking in with my spirit, because once I met that part of me in that powerful way, it's as if I'm always nurturing it to keep it alive. And it's very sensitive, so I have to watch what I say. Not only am I a Six of Clubs, but now I'm like a double master Six of Clubs.
And so I'm glad that you said that, because even when you just said, I struggle to keep it, you don't have to struggle to keep it. Literally. Yeah, right? And that's usually just the language that we're used to. But I can actually see that your 11 brothers and sisters give you an opportunity to exercise your mastery every single day. And they provide that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, they do. They really, really do. And I am very glad that I tapped into this in my life, because I'm able now to be an ear for others, a listening for others when they are in dis-ease, because that's where it really comes from. It's the blockage, it's the holding on to. And when Reiki, the energy, we move the energy around. When we have a client, they come back a few times, and we work on that energy to move that energy out so that goodness comes in and continues to flow in their bodies and in their minds and in their lives change. And so there's so much to say about that, especially when it comes to, I was just in Ohio with a family member who has cancer, and we did some work together, and I'll tell you, she was not the same when I left. She just, it was just the most beautiful experience. And it happened because she allowed it, right? It's not something that you push on anyone. It's something that they really get to have that space to let go of some things so that their body can get back in balance. So
so if you know, how do you see introducing, and even with your relative, was Reiki something you had to introduce to them, or she actually knew about it, or was there any reluctancy, any pushback when you offered this? How would you introduce this technology or this methodology to someone who is just like, no way, they might think it's weird, it's a hoax, it's how would you introduce that?
Wow. So in this case, I only had one question, and I said to her, I asked her, I said, how would you feel if you knew that the cancer is from unforgiveness towards your parent? And she looked at me and like, what? I'm like, I didn't say anything, right? I just give her something to think about. And she said, I've been thinking about that lately. Something has been telling me inside that is something I need to let go of. And from there, it just opened up to the release.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And that's because I knew the situation that I was able to give that to her. So I think it's just coming from a place of, okay, we know you have this, and we know that there's a reason, an emotional reason that you have this.
Mm-hmm.
How can we tap into that? Are you willing to work with me on that? Are you willing to let go of that with me? And I think that opens the door to the person opening up and sharing.
Very cool. So Shnema, I want you to, so I've actually decided that I won't be so reluctant, and I will allow myself to have a session with you. Can you give me an idea? I'm a new client and I've never experienced Reiki. I have no idea what it is, but I'm willing to try it out. Can you give me an idea what I would expect or what to expect when I actually walked into your place to have a Reiki session?
Absolutely. So for me, I know that my greatest gift is love and truth. And oftentimes when people are coming to me for sessions, there's already a burden of whatever their truth is. So I don't start off with what's wrong or what's going on. I like to start with them coming in, and I'm offering them alkaline water because I'm already beginning to shift the body with the water that they're receiving. Before they've come in, I have meditated on, what the session will be like, and I have already begun doing energy work before they've even started coming within the session. You're going to smell wonderful aromas to stimulate, the mind, body, and spirit to have some healing and some releasing. I'm also starting. The very first part is always starting with me. I'm always asking, Spirit to remove any blockages that are within me to keep me from assisting and bring about healing for this client. I practice a few different forms of Reiki, so there are different protocols for each type of Reiki that I do. However, the main thing is I'm the vessel. I'm removing ego. I'm allowing spirit to come in. So I start off with, the waters, and I talk with them for a little while. And in my communicating with them, I make sure that they know they are safe and that they are secure and that they don't even really have to explain necessarily what they're coming to me for, because I'm also an Akashic record reader, a medium, any kind of way that you can read through crystals, pendulums, tapping in, just talking to spirit. I'm able to do that. So spirit has already given me the truth of what's going on with that person. And, I like to call my craft with the Reiki a healing art. And as an artist, I'm able to cut through space and time and your deception and whatever you have going on and see the true essence of your heart and soul. Because though a person is coming to me for healing, there's still a place of they're not vulnerable. They don't fully trust. They're still holding on to the baggage of why they came to me. So I typically try to not have them explain what they think is the problem or issue, because I don't see it as a right or wrong. There's no ego in this. There's no judgment. This is allowing that energy, that ebb and flow, to happen how it needs to happen. So I make them comfortable when they're with me. So I get them on my table, or sometimes I work in a chair. They're comfortable. I usually start with praying over them. And I'm asking for them and their spirit to be safe and secure and grounded. I'm also asking for them to be, protected, because during this energy work, it's not something that is, something to take lightly. I understand that when I am stepping in as the Reiki practitioner or Reiki master teacher to help them, I am, it's like me stepping in front of them to say, I'll take on whatever it is that's coming. I'll take it on. I'll be here as the channel. So I want them to be okay. And I pray over them. And I usually ask for them to be aligned with whatever the universe has for them. Again, that removes my ego, because someone may come into me with cancer and I think that that's the core issue. And it's not. The energy will go exactly where it needs to be. So I want to remove my own issues and my own ego from that, and even their own ego going, to their higher self. That's how I start off the session. Then I do, within my session, the first thing I do is I clear their auric field. Then I go in within their chakras and I do some balancing. And sometimes I pull from some Native American techniques, some ancient African techniques, some Hindu techniques. It just depends on what spirit that person that has come to me, what they require, because no one is the same. So I'm also in some places, some people may call me a shaman, and depending on where you're coming from. So I will do whatever it is that's needed so that you and your soul can have what it needs so that it can move forward within this lifetime, as well as heal from other lifetimes, and also heal from the spaces that you are connected to. So, whether it's your mother or your father, whomever it is, energetically that you are connected to within your spirit, I also work within that space. I also do things like I prescribe prescriptions for people. So I allow spirit to come in, and I do things like give them herbs or oils, or I'll give them crystal therapy, and I usually give it to them for a section of time, whatever spirit says, sometimes 21 days or a week or a day. I also prescribe different baths and herbs, and some things, if a person, they don't have the resources or finances to buy those things, I prepare them for them. So when someone is coming to me for a Reiki session, it's almost So when someone is coming to me for a Reiki session, when someone is coming to me for a Reiki section, it's almost like coming to the doctor. You don't have to tell me what's going on. I'm going to run my own diagnostics to see what's happening. And I'm going to give you what your masters, teachers, and loved ones from Spirit says is what you need.
That's beautiful. So you have children. I love that. You know, that sometimes we have to include the children because they do not, you know, something about, listen, I have a do not disturb sign. They don't honor that if they really need something. And that's something we may want to learn about too in our own life. You know, because sometimes
for me it's a little different. It's sometimes challenging because my children, they are gifted as well. They also have been attuned to Reiki, and so they're tapped in. But when they're in that other space of I'm not doing that right now.
Right. So your session, so a session with you would last how long? 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 100 and
So it actually depends on, you know, what you need. I typically allow the person, you know, they sometimes will set up things according to their price range that they have.
Yes.
But and from that there's a time frame. So like 30 minutes or 60 minutes. Usually those are where I roll. I don't really like to go over that. Because within that 30 minutes or 60 minutes, and even before you've even come to me and you started booking the session, Spirit has already started the work and to say where I need to go with you. Sometimes a person, they may say that I only can afford 30 minutes, okay? And they may need, you know, an hour. So if I allow that person to do that 30 minutes, and that's all they can afford, and Spirit has told me, give them that hour, then most of the time I honor that because not only is it, you know, I'm doing this work not out of ego and not out of finances. I'm doing this work because this is what the Master has said that I am to do. So a lot of times someone may come and, you know, they can only afford that 30 minutes, but Spirit says they need 60, then I'll give them that. And I don't tell them because when you're doing the work, there's no such thing as time and space. That's not really real. That's what we need as human beings to operate and move about and get to work and all that kind of stuff. And even within the sessions, a person is cutting things off to, I need 30 minutes, I need an hour. But when we're in Spirit and we're allowing that flow to happen, there's no such thing. And so I usually honor what Spirit is saying that I need to do with that person to bring about the ultimate healing for them. And,
you know, that is so beautiful. That's kind of like, that's the attitude that we attempt to balance ourselves within with Master Force, you know, because we are of service. And, you know, and then the other side of that is, you know, I still have to have shelter and all of that. So, you know, so Teresa, what can you add to what Shnima has said? And then can you just talk a little bit about your experience when you were able to share Reiki with your mom in her challenge today?
So I really can't add anything else that she had said because I think she covered it. It really is about, more importantly, just being a vessel, a very clear vessel. Because before I even speak to the person, I'm already like clearing myself. I'm just in my own spirit and really listening for, you know, what am I to say in this moment. Today with my mom, I just started to put my hands on her. I warmed my hands. I put the intentions in there. And I just really went and just started touching her in those areas that she was suffering from today. And I really could feel like the connection with her right away. Like she became peaceful. She wasn't as agitated. She really got clear, and she felt me, which was really beautiful. Like she really felt the peace of knowing that I was with her, that she's going to be okay, even though these men were all around her, even though they were strapping her down and doing all this crazy stuff. I knew that before they arrived, I needed to settle her spirit because it was going to get unsettled real quick.
That's beautiful.
It really was. It really was. To be one with Mom is just, I've come a long way, let me just say that.
You know, I had an experience a few years back. It probably was about 3 years ago, and one of my nephews was killed. He was actually shot, and he was 22 years old at the time. And I remember Icha called me, and she said, "Moot, my spirit really wants to do Reiki on you." And at the time, I thought I felt like I was handling things fine, and the challenge was moving into going to the funeral. And so I did. I went over to her place and laid on the table. And as she was scanning my body, I could feel where the block was. I could feel it, and I could feel as she was working, I could feel it opening up. And then it was almost like I could feel my spirit communicating to me about why the block was there and why I was holding on to it. So it was almost like there was this tandem relationship between my spirit and her spirit as and my eyes were closed. We weren't talking. We literally were, in the process. So when we were done, and she asked me, what was there, I shared with her, that I felt, the block in my solar plexus, and that the conversation was about the challenge that I have about being myself with my family, like being this weird person, and I want to operate in a certain way, and I have all these people who operate, the way the world does, right? And here I am, and I'm one of the younger ones in certain generations, right? So it was really very powerful for me to have that experience. And then the next day to go to the funeral, and I think, Teresa, you came with me, you met me at the funeral, which was really powerful too. But I know that Reiki made a difference in bringing peace, bringing balance to my energy, clearing my chakras. I mean, it gave me the essence, right? It gave me the essence that I needed to operate in that space. So, now I just want to let people know you can ask questions. You can either go to the Facebook page, and we have a Facebook fan page called Ignite Your Soul Connection. You can write questions there, and we can answer you. Or if you're on the YouTube side, I believe there's a question and answer area, or you can put in the comment. We have people on both sides who are looking for questions. So if you have any questions for us, please feel free to let us know. Okay?
Moot, I'd like to add something to this.
Yes.
The other piece to this for me, being raised, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You good?
Yep.
Being raised in a Catholic family, Christian, right? To really being open to this kind of study, and to this kind of reality, that our spirits actually needs to be nourished in those areas, that because we were raised so strict in beliefs, in this box of beliefs, we were kind of challenged in that area to tap into that. You see that? And, this is not something I share with a lot of people, because right away they're like, uh-oh, Teresa's going off again. She's going off the cliff a little bit here, right?
Yes.
The beauty is like really being open to understanding, for those that are Christian and Bible toting and really scripture, can read the scripture left and right, and is to understand that even in the Bible it spoke about God, Jesus, performing miracles. And those miracles we also can do.
Mm-hmm.
See that?
Oh,
So
yeah.
they skip that part, right?
Mm-hmm.
It takes something, right? It takes something for us to want to tap into it. It's a responsibility once you tap into it, and
Yeah.
that might be the it of it.
Yeah.
But for me, it's an honor and a privilege to tap into the God that's in me, and being humbled every day, being humbled and nurturing that part of me, and just allowing God and Spirit to just say, okay, you're doing good. Let me show you a little bit more. Let me show you a little bit more. Let me show you more.
Very cool.
It's a
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's very powerful. Yeah, I can get that, and it does take something, and that's exactly why I do love the family of Master Force, because we support each other in our individual growth. And so when we leave each other, we can go out there and be the leaders in the families that we have to be, right? So it does, it does take a lot. So now, and we're not finished with Reiki, but I do want to go ahead and bring music into this conversation. And most of us, we've gotten so conditioned to use music as an entertainment, right? It's entertainment, that we don't realize the effect that it has on our spirit and soul, and why our young people are actually being harmed by the music that is going on right now. So between Aaron and Alanda, which one of you want to start out with talking about music and how it actually relates to healing, and where does it fit into the learning quadrant?
Um, I can go unless Aaron wants to go. Well, I can say from my experience, and I'm from a musical background. Everybody know, if you know me, I'm a house head and love music.
Everybody does not know you listening to this, I promise you.
Well, I'm a big house head. I'm from Chicago. Well, and I never understood the importance of how music comes into play in conditioning our minds and what we allow in our ear gate. And when I started doing this work, I started going into some of the meditation videos that you guys that we use in the curriculum, and a lot of them dealt with different brain patterns and brain waves of levels of consciousness. And when I started studying it, I really started learning there's a lot of it's deep, but I'm gonna just do the easy part. We all in what they have these different levels of consciousness, and the levels of consciousness as far as your brain waves and brain activity. And what happens is when we tune in to the vibrations of the universe, and in order to do that is the meditation, of course. And sometimes we can go to work, go and be somewhere, and as you were saying about as far as like maybe interacting, going to a funeral, going somewhere that brings you down, you have to still get back into this state of how can you get back into your balance. And when we are in our, I believe it's the beta state. Beta state is awareness, what we see right now. That's this is consciousness, and then our levels of other consciousness like alpha, theta. I'll break it all down, but there's different levels of consciousness that we go in when it comes to meditating. And the music plays a very big part in the meditation and in relaxation, because how can you relax when you have, let's say, you have some fast beat music or party music playing? How can you relax to that? How can you go out to a club and come home And then, you so wound up, from hearing all this great music, you want to still party. That's why, and I never understood, and I got I figured it out. When we leave clubs at night, they will wind down, like after a night of fast music, they'll wind down with some slow songs. What they're doing is slowing you down. But in this work and how it fits in the quadrant, it does it connects your emotion and your spirit to kind of like calms down the left side, your physical, your rational thoughts. It slows it down, it balances it out. And when you do the meditation, because I'm going to keep saying meditation because that's pretty much how I put this into play. Meditating is such a great part of bringing you down to that chi, getting your breathing to center, getting yourself balanced, and it brings you to a different state. When you unwind, slow your wheels down, you go into this theta state, and that is a level of consciousness that brings you into creating. Mm-hmm. You also go into your brain waves kind of like slows down, and then at that point, the music that you set will help you go into the creativity, will help you relax and unwind. I know before I do all of that, I have another way of relaxing, but before I even put music on, I have ways of even slowing down because I'm a Gemini. I go all over the place. It takes me a lot to slow down and listen to music. However, when you do get into a place of meditating and when you want to create, the best time to create and unwind is softening your tone, setting the tone around you, getting the music that's going to soothe you, because music is a soother. It does. And if you ever think about when you hear, like you said, the young people and listening to the rap lyrics, I had experience of going to a club and listening to rap, and I was angry when I left out. And that had to, and I didn't know I was that sensitive, but that kind of stuff, I can see how you get angry, because unconsciously, this is going into your subconscious. Mm-hmm. Music goes to your subconscious, and whatever your intention is before you get into relaxation, you're setting your subconscious up, basically. So whether you want to clear your subconscious or slow your mind down, music plays a very big part of that. I have some techniques, but Aaron, if you want to add to it.
Aaron, what would you say? What would you add to what Alanda has said about music?
Well, what I would add is that Reiki, just like we just talked about Reiki, it's affecting energy through touch. So music is like affecting energy through sound and vibration. And like I personally include music in all of my e-courses and programs at the beginning of each session or each chapter as a way of helping the client or the student tune into a certain energy or a certain vibration in order to help them better receive the lessons or the information that we're about to explore. And for myself personally, I use music to raise and maintain my vibration. I would say it's my most effective tool to do that. I mean, like, I'm really into music anyway, so once I discovered like how music affects your vibration, it was just a matter of me knowing what type of music that best helped me tune into a more relaxed vibration, a more tapping into that universal energy that Snema talked about. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I agree with everything that Alanda said as well.
You know, that is so powerful. I remember being, I think it may have been in my college years that I realized that when I broke up with someone, I would go and listen to songs about the breakup, right? And then it would just make me just cry, 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 you know. And then one day it dawned on me, why am I listening to music that makes me cry? You know, you know, and that's when I really started for myself saying, oh, I can't listen to that music. It's just going to make me cry. And then at one point, I remember thinking, I can't listen to music with words unless the words empower me. Because I was so sensitive that, and you all, everybody knows this, you get a song in your head, it stays. So that's like a mantra. So now, because of how the brain works, the brain is a creative brain. It's not a thinking brain. It begins to manifest whatever it is you're creating, right? So I had to really, you know, I didn't study music and its effects at that time, but I knew that I could not be at the effect of music because of that. So now when you look at the work that we do with our clients, you know, we've actually taken music to another level. You know, can any of you speak about the binaural beats, the frequencies, and how we use those? Can either of you speak to that and the difference that it makes for people when they're looking at making life changes and going to another level?
Yes. Well, I know I can speak on it because I've been studying a lot of it, and it's interesting because I'm married to a musician or producer. He doesn't sit with me enough when I ask questions. He thinks I'm not being serious. So I have to study a little bit more for myself. And what I've learned with just the different types of sounds, and first of all, just to get our clients, and just to get, if I'm working with a client, I do introduce musical affirmations. I actually give them yours, you know, I point them to yours. And I kind of go into the different states of consciousness. So our conscious, when we're awake, we're in a beta state. When we are in the meditation, we're in an alpha state. And theta is when you start really getting into relaxing, and delta is when you're in a deep sleep, unconscious, what they say. So with the binaural beats, there are different isochronic sounds that match vibrations of the earth and universe. And I'm not that scientifically savvy about how that goes. However, I can definitely tell you that when I tune in to the beats, when I tune into meditation, I do get something that's that does the binaural beats, and it has to match. Like say, if I want to balance chakras, I do chakra meditations, and if I want to listen to something that's for my root chakra, I tune in. You know, I'll turn that on, and what it does, it helps me, you know, go in. I don't know Reiki, but I do understand that once I get into our focusing or meditating or meditating spot I need to go on, I start working with that. And so sometimes I fall asleep, but I do go to sleep and I wake up and bring back into my meditation because I want to go back in when I'm hearing. When I go to sleep, I have a dream, and it will give me the answer that I need for that question.
So, Ananda, do you have on headphones?
No.
Okay, your volume just went in and out a little bit. We could hear you.
You can hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you, but for some reason, I don't know if it's the movement. Yeah, but we heard you. We heard you, but just want you to know it was a different adjustment, and it may have been just your movement to do it. Right. So now when you made a very good point in the touch on frequency and Reiki. You all hear that, Teresa and Shnima? So when you're doing your Reiki work on people, do you use music that also affects the chakra levels or the frequency and the vibration? And can you speak to that a little bit, either one of you?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I can. I actually, one of my modalities, I am a sound therapist. So in sessions, I do different, depending on what type of sound therapy that I'm going to do within the session, I will use actual instruments. I have didgeridoos, I have bells, I have drums, I have all kinds of instruments that actually shift energy between certain parts of the chakra system of the body. Then, as within the sound therapy work that I do, there are certain frequencies that we use to actually affect certain parts of the body. So when we talk about things such as rap music, or we could even go into listening to very African-centered music within the drums, there's a reason why we dance a certain way. You know, we get very much so into our sexuality, and we want to, you know, pop and move our bottom parts a lot because drums stimulate the root chakra. So if we start to study about the body and what frequencies or sounds within instruments, or even sometimes I use, if I'm in a space and I don't have any instruments or any, you know, frequencies to plug you up into to make you vibrate a certain way within the table, then I use the sounds of my voice, and I actually shift energy within that way. I typically do not use outside sources of non-natural sounds as far as CD, because a lot of times that music has not been tested within like frequency. And so I can't trust that you have this sound within the meditational music to say this is for relaxation. It might not be. It might be very stimulating, which is nice depending on what I need within the session. So I rely on the sounds that I use with the instruments that I have or within my voice to actually shift. For myself, because I'm very sensitive to energy, and typically people come to, you know, they'll want to work on me, and it doesn't work out so good for me because I am a master, and so I'm working on them as I'm laying on the table. But when I use sound therapy, if I'm coming for a sound therapy session, the sound, it distorts all of the energy that's happening between me and the other person. So I'm a lot more relaxed in that session. Sometimes I'll use different Hindu chants, and like, so this poster that I have up here, it actually has a few different chants on there. So if I am working on someone energetically and I need a little more help, I use my hands, I use spirit, and I will use sound to shift the energy. I love sound therapy. That's actually one of my favorite things to do within the energy work that I do. And even for myself, when I have something going on with myself, I will chant and I will, heal my body. I'll heal my body with just using sound. Music is the one thing that uses your entire brain without you doing anything. So I love sound.
Yeah, that is so true, and that's actually what I do also. I create my own music, and I actually use muscle testing to determine its usefulness. I create mantras. I've shared that with many of you. But music is very much an instrument for relaxation. So now let's take both of these. Let's take Reiki and music into the conversation of relaxation. So for yourself, I mean, because most people think that when we say relax, we're talking about turn on the TV, kick back, have a drink, and just pull back from the world. But there's another level of relaxation that we're speaking to, right? So let's talk about that. What is that level of world? What is that we're speaking to when we're talking about relaxation? Anybody?
For my
Yeah,
that
you can go ahead.
relaxation.
Whoever. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, for myself, that relaxation, I tune out of, anything as far as human realm is concerned. There's no complaining. There's no children that are in need. There's no work that has to be done. There's no illness. There's no task. That's a part of my self-care. And as far as within the way I like to relax, I will either, because sound is very important for me because there's energy within sound. So I'll either turn the lights off and light some candles, and I'll have, I do have a CD that a brother that I know, he actually studies the science of sound, and so it affects your lungs, which is for grief, or the foundation of your spleen, which affects the root chakra. So I have some music that is specifically catered to healing the body energetically as well as physically and medically. I'll use things like my singing bowls to shift energy within myself, and most bowls and instruments, like I said, they affect different frequencies in different places within the body. But chanting has to be my absolute favorite. I will sit and place my hands on my body, and I don't care where I'm at, I will do it. I was actually going to. I have students of many ages, and I've got ministers, some Hindu, some Yorubic, some Christian. You name it, I got them. But I decided to go out one night with my younger students, and I was having some issues within my throat. And I was having those issues because my student, as an empath, I'm feeling my student, and I was having some issues within my throat, and I felt very uneasy. And what I did on the way to the concert, we were in her car, and she had her music playing, and I said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I got to do this to zone out." And I just placed my hands, on my throat, and I just start chanting, chanting to change the frequency within my throat. And I didn't feel that tightness anymore. And she turned her music down, and everybody that was in the car, talked about how they felt very euphoric because of the sound and the vibration of my voice, and me chanting these ancient chants to actually move and shift the energy. And I understand that when we do that, it's not only for ourselves but whoever is around us, going back into, we naturally know we have that intelligence within our cellular structure. You're going to feel that energy when I'm chanting. And so there's a level of relaxation that you're going to have just from me going within myself and bringing about that relaxation for myself. Music it's very important. I wish I would have known. I could have, my tools are around here, but all the instruments that I have, I've not been traditionally trained in them, even though I am a sound therapist. That actually, we're using a different type of usage of the sound, but all the instruments that I play, I allow spirit to teach me how to play them so that I can give my client what they need in the session. Because like I said, I'll do whatever I need to do the healing for someone else. And so I do that for myself as well. But the chanting, I love it. I can't hear you.
Did you mute just?
Yes, there we go. Yes. So for the rest of you, what is relaxation? What does that look like for you? How do you bring that to yourself and your clients? Shanima gave a very good example of how even when she's in the space of others, how important it is for her to take care of herself and bring herself to a state of peace. What about the rest of you? What is relaxation for you?
Well, I can speak. Relaxation for me is unplugging from everything before I go into my zone, basically. And I do that for myself before I go out with other people. And then when I'm with other people, I actually, what Sanima was just saying, I do the same thing. I have to get quiet. And as much as I like to talk, and I'm a two, a spades, I love to talk and engage. I like to be quiet as well, because if something's not sitting well with me, I have to unplug for a second. And I unwind. I go into the, sometimes the humming. If no music is around, because you're not always, you don't always have something next to you. I'm not a sound therapist, but I do hum. I hum to myself, and I also use that one because I'm a big I am fan. I love saying I am and setting intentions, and the Sanskrit for I am is Om. I just Om and hum. To a point booting, because I do a meditation or relaxation. I kind of like do a breakfast. People have regular breakfast. I have to do that sometimes during the day to stop, because I can keep going. And I have learned in the last couple of years to slow down, because I will keep going and I will totally miss something. I will totally miss an answer to what I've been wanting to hear. I will totally miss a warning, whatever. And so I've learned to sit still and relax, because my answer is in relaxing. And to work with clients, I have them do the same thing, because I attract a lot of clients that are like me. They have a lot going on. They have so much, so everything going on. They have to take care of everybody. And working with people similar to myself is a constant reminder of how to set the tone for my day, set the tone for my night. And I do a lot of humming. I even sing to myself. I even watch what I say. I may even take words of a song and sing it to make me feel better at that time, because that melody would be in my head. I also, if there's some issues going on with money or whatever, it's just different things. So the relaxation part, I totally get. Quickly, I know how to break fast into relaxation when I need to, because I have to breathe the center before I do anything else. And that's when, I can do, if I'm not connected to a device to listen, I hum and sing to myself. And that's
So I want Aaron or Teresa to take this to a next level, right? I know people who give the appearance of being relaxed, right? Cool, calm, collected. But actually, on the inside, it's a reminder, how the duck is on the water and he looks like he's just floating along, but underneath he's doing this, and his feet are going really fast, and looking like dog pedaling. He's moving really fast, but on the surface, he looks like he's just gliding along. So sometimes when people say they're relaxed on the outside. What about on the inside? What does that really look like when you are relaxed on the inside and you're relaxed around the circumstances of your life, including the chaos? Can one of you speak to that and how to get to it?
I could speak to that. For number 11, I've learned to master. I hear an echo. One of the things that I do is I just know that everything is going to be okay. I find myself having a dialogue, internal dialogue, in the moment, almost like controlling that ego or that reactive person that's trying to react to something that's just not even worthy of reacting to. I'm always finding myself quieting that egoic, edging God out. I love that. Monster that tries to creep up at times where I have to, what I do is I really get clear that the person is just expressing themselves in that moment. And it's not for me to be a coach at that moment, a reactive person in that moment. I just really speak to that. I speak to whatever's coming up for me. And it works. It really works. It's like that crying baby that wants to yell out, and the nurturing mom is like, calm down, it's going to be okay. This is only this moment. But one of the things that I tell my clients to do for relaxation is I tell them to take nice, long, hot baths with salt and fragrances, rose petals. It does something for the spirit when you sit in a hot tub. It seems like all your chakras open up. Everything that was bothering you just went away. I mean, it's such a beautiful place to be. And the other thing that I recommend is to be out in nature, if the weather permits. You know, find a forest, take off your shoes, and walk in the grass, and walk on the leaves, and just really be one with the spirit out in nature, because it's amazing what really comes up for you. And in some cases, to let go of some things, go ahead and yell and let that out. No one's going to hear you. No one's going to say, hey, what are you doing? You might scare a couple of deers away, but there's a release in that itself. So that's what I recommend, Just really being one with where you're at in that moment. And whatever.
Okay, Aaron, what were you? Oh, I'm sorry, Teresa.
No, I'm good.
Aaron, what were you going to add?
I would say for me, relaxation means I think of the law of allowing. And the law of allowing says that allowing things to move without resistance and to evolve and grow naturally. So a lot of times I know I particularly work with the universal laws a lot, and the law of attraction, the law of manifestation. And when I first got into that work, I used to try so hard to affect a certain outcome, to manifest certain things that I wanted, that it became counterproductive. And so I had to learn to, there is the part where you put your desires out there, but there is also a part where you allow the universe to do its work, and you sit back and let and receive. So that's what I think of when I think of relaxation. It's allowing things to flow, flow with the current. Don't swim against the current, So, yeah, that's all I was going to add.
That's keen, right? Because when you said that, the first thing I thought about was resistance, right? The thing that counters relaxation is resistance. Something shows up and the first thing you say is, no, it shouldn't be like that. And so right away that resistance comes in, and even trying to relax around it is impossible because you're not allowing yourself to be present to what is, right? So I can clearly get that. I can clearly hear that and sense that what is going on is really something that needs to happen, whether you realize it or not. So yeah. So anybody else have something to say about that?
I do. That is very powerful, just listening to everyone and their techniques. And one thing, when listening earlier this week and yesterday, when Tim and Jaquay, they spoke about the stones. And another thing I do as well, I have my stones. I have them all over the house. And I grab whatever is speaking to me at the moment, I grab it and slow down, because I can get panicky. I can, get in a space of not knowing what's going to happen next. But I have to unplug from everything before I do that, because there's a lot of things that that are not conducive to what I'm trying to focus on at that moment. So I do have other little things. I immediately come and set my space. I come into my office and close both doors. I do that. And if I'm out in public, I always carry one of my peace stones with me, and I just go in real quick and just relax. And getting other people to do that, yeah, it is one of those things that to even have someone to slow down I won't say it's a challenge, but just to have them to slow down and just be present at that moment. And I remember learning that as with you, Rita. You taught us that, and I think that's always made me one of those people that I'm not a reactive type. Well, I won't say I'm not reactive, but I don't panic. I was always one of those people like, okay, all right, well, let's see how this goes. And I owe you for that. Way before this work even started, I've learned that, okay, I can't do anything about it now. So how do we solve this? And so that's the point from relaxation for myself. I grab a stone, I get my pencil on. If I need a quick answer, I go, and my whole thing is I unplug before I do anything. And unplugging can be cooking. That's my favorite thing. So I go cook to unplug, and then I come and just relax. And that's pretty much, that's all I wanted to add about that.
So I really want our listeners to hear the different ways that we're giving to relax. We heard about walking in nature. We heard about singing to yourself. We heard about listening to music. We heard about taking a bath. And I can't say enough about taking a bath. And we all love this one that we like to do regularly, where we'll run a bath of hot water, and we will add Epsom salt, like a half a cup of Epsom salt, a half a cup of baking soda, and I think a half of cup of peroxide. And this will literally take toxins out of your body. And when you get done, the only thing you need to do is wrap up and go to sleep. This is not a take a bath and go outside. This is really, soak in there as long as you possibly can. And then unplugging, right? Pulling away, allowing yourself time. Shnema said there's no children, there's no chores, there's no responsibility, there's no cooking, not taking care of anyone. This has to be a priority for all of us. We are the most important person in our universe. I am the most important person in my universe. I have to make sure that I take care of myself prior to me making sure that I take care of everyone else. If we keep putting everyone else before us, we will actually miss the opportunity to be our best self. So we want to actually make sure. And then the other thing about relaxing is allowing life to do what it does, right? Just really allowing it to let go. just really allowing it to be what it is. There are times when control is not something that you can do. So getting upset about it doesn't make any difference, right? Okay, anybody else want to add to that I miss, because I want people, and relaxation falls inside of that spiritual, that spiritual quadrant, because until you allow yourself to be peaceful, you can't even tap into your spirit. That spirit, in order for you to hear that still small voice, you have to be quiet and relax and still within yourself. Anyone else want to add to that?
Yeah, I like Alanda. One of the things that I love is traveling, as you know, right? And I love that part when you're on the plane in the beginning and they say, if you're traveling with children, put your seat belt on first. And I would always hear that, but one day, as my spirit opened up more and more, my spirit really took that in as, wow, how many times in our life do we take care of everyone else, especially as a parent, right? Everything is about the kids. I work hard for my kids. I give them the best school, the best this, the best that. And in the interim, I suffer, and we all do that. We all do that in our lives. We all do that in our jobs. Everywhere we go, we do this. And I use that with my clients when they're like, no, but you don't understand. I was like, well, let's think about this. When you get on a plane, what is it that they say, right? Because they know that your instinct is to put the mask on your children first. But without you, your children are not going to be okay anyways, Without you, those kids are going to perish anyways. So, it was just, that's like such a great lesson to live by each and every day. So you're talking
about the part when they're giving, they're saying, listen, this oxygen mask is going to come down if it's an emergency. And when that oxygen mask comes down, put it on yourself. And then offer it to either the child or the person who has a disability next. But it says put it on yourself first. Because if you put it on that other person first, they're going to grab your hand and keep it there. You're not going to even you'll pass out right before you get it back to yourself. And so that's a perfect example, Teresa. Like really taking on our own life, our own energy first, and then adding significance to another person. Alanda, what were you coming in with?
Well, I did want to make a differentiation for some people. Speaking to someone that don't understand the whole with relaxation and escaping, relaxation is not an escape. It is a reboot, and this is something I had to think about while everyone was talking, because before I would use that as an escape. What happens when you relax, you go to sleep. If you don't deal with the problem, but if you have something that's going on, what happens is you will go lay down. That's not what we're saying. Go lay down and then just escape. Relaxation is to totally slow down. You're absolutely right. I love the fact that you have taught us that. That was one of the principles. You take care of yourself. You are responsible for your own vibration. You are responsible for yourself. When you are in a situation that you need to reboot and recharge and regroup, you do want to relax. You don't want to escape. Escaping is not going to give you the answers, because sometimes we put ourselves to sleep. We immediately go from beta to delta state, and that means we're going to deep sleep and don't do anything, and then you wake up, you still have the same problem. That's where a lot of things come from, when people go with different types of drugs and things like that. Relaxation is totally slowing down, get whatever it is the answer. If you're going through something, I say this a lot because people come to me when they are in dire straits, and like you said about, how do you slow them down when they're panicking on the inside? Going in to relax, not escape. Escaping is what you're doing is you're running from a situation you don't want to deal with, and you're going to have to deal with it. So relaxing is just slowing down so you can get the answers that you are looking for. And that's what I wanted to add to that.
You saw my lips reading. You guys can't read my lips yet. Aaron, Ashnima, either one of you want to add to the topic of relaxation and just really have people get clear of what, because our intention is that people really take on relaxing, trusting the universe, take on really nurturing their own avatar, as Isha says, and really honoring their temple. And you guys have given some great examples. So, I'm going to ask, we have people adding, can you guys add, Eckhart Tolle wrote a book a few years back, it may have been 10 years by now, called New Earth. And he really talks about the energy that the earth is evolving into. But he also talks about, Shnima brought this up, about how the ego can actually interrupt how we be in life. Now, we can't get rid of the ego. We really don't want to get rid of the ego, but we do want to bring it into balance so that we can emerge as spiritual beings and actually have, a true existence. I mean, we came here to experience this planet as spirit beings, right? And, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So, but most of the time we're so caught up in our humanity by our ego, right? So we want to be, part of relaxing is being able to, bring that down a little bit. So does that make sense? So yeah, if you guys could add Eckhart Tolle, and then also some binaural beats and frequencies, just so people can know that they're out there, and especially if they're working on healing any specific area of their body. And as Shnima said, if it doesn't sound right or feel right to you, don't listen to that. Try something else, right? Okay. Now let me check in. Do we have any questions out there? Oh, I see. Any questions from the website or YouTube? So if anyone wants to say something, go ahead and do that.
I would say going into the whole relaxation piece and removing, part of the removing is also you removing your need to run from what will perceive as being chaos. That's a part of to be able to stand within chaos. A tornado on the left, it could be a rainstorm on the right, it could be a fire behind us, but we are removing all the things that we need to control even this experience, allowing ourselves to we are even in this experience because it's a lesson. And so that goes back into the breathing to center ourselves, breathing within that chaos and know there is balance within light and dark. We must be able to stand in that space. Being reactive is us trying to constantly get out of that space, and we forget how to feel what we need to feel so we can move forward within the journey. So even in the space of even thinking, oh, I got to feel good, I got to feel good, I got to feel great, I got to feel great, you are resisting feeling what you naturally need to feel because there is that space of uncomfortability and what doesn't feel great. that's when our back is pressed up against the wall where we can snap right to say, okay, this is what's happening. Because if everything is moving in a space of being so perfect, then you won't grow. You won't feel the need to change because everything is already okay. So I just wanted to add to that space of, like, within Reiki is concerned, that's why we have 4 different levels. This is why the first degree, it is the most important. Not the mastery, it's the first one, because this is our foundation, meaning you working on yourself constantly. And as you move along, you are constantly working on yourself, but the lessons change. If you try to get out of within that first space of doing the self work, you are not working to help anybody else. Because it's like, if you have a well and there's 50,000 people that are thirsty and you are the only one that can quench their thirst, if you have not drank your water yourself first, you cannot help anybody else. You got an empty bucket, because as you're trying to go along and help those 50,000 people, you're passing out, you're weak in spirit, you're weak in physical, strength. You must work with self first, period. There's no getting around it. And the giver tries to sometimes do a thing of where we try to make up for what we're lacking, and it's not about what you're lacking because you judge yourself in that space. It's about, what do I need to heal first? And that's why, for me, my favorite quote I always say is, as I heal myself, I heal others. As I heal others, I heal my family. As I heal my family, I heal nations. As I heal the nations, I heal the world. That lets you know that that one being that you are in your experience is so very special and powerful, because you can heal the world if you focus on how to heal yourself and relaxing yourself and addressing yourself first. So we can't do any of this work. We can't do any of this relaxation. We can't work within our MEPS or breathing the center or anything if we do not look at the mirror. And all the people that we experience in this journey, they are our mirrors. They are the ones that reflect what we need to have and address within ourselves. This is how, even as a healer, we can, see where we're at, because our egos sometimes get in the way and we think, oh, we're fine and everything's okay. I'm doing my care and I'm relaxing and I'm breathing. You can see where you're at from the type of client that you are attracting, bringing in that law of attraction. Every time you make a shift in the type of clients that you are attracting, that's how you know, okay, I'm on another page and another journey within myself. So it's very key that you key in and tune into yourself so that you can, yes, better serve your clients by better serving yourselves.
Beautiful, well stated. That is exactly the work. And that, because really, when you think about it, the only person we are healing is ourselves every time. And even when we're taking care of clients, that's a version of ourselves that we're taking care of. But we have to be present to that. We can't, we can, but when we miss the opportunity, and this is a lot of what we see sometimes, and the difference between the work that we do at Masterforce is that a lot of time people think that, oh, I'm this person, so because I'm this person, I'm more important and more special than the next person. And really, you miss an opportunity to connect at the heart chakra, at the heart level with people when you think you're above them, or even when you think you're beneath them. We're all one. We're all in this, and we're all growing together. So to have that opportunity for people to even show up in our space and request our services it's humbling, and it really demonstrates something that the universe is speaking to us. So thank you for saying that so eloquently, Shanima. So now, because we're getting into the last 20 minutes, I want to make sure that we have an opportunity for people to know how to connect with you, how to connect with your services, and then do you have any giveaways? Do you have any giveaways that you're offering every night? For the last 3 nights, each of the coaches have offered some type of service, some type of course, some type of something to the listeners. So do you have something to offer our listening audience, and how would they actually retrieve that offering? So who's ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Give other people.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so you connect with me on my Facebook, Lotus Love. That's my Facebook name, or you can contact me on my Facebook page, my fan page, Lotus Love Spirit Healing. I do have a 10-day jump for men and women that I'm doing, and it's a free course that I do online, and it's giving you basic techniques to bring about healing within your mind, body, and spirit. You can also reach me via my webpage, www.lotuslovespiриthealingcantrell.webstarts.com. That has like the courses that I'm doing. It has services that I'm doing. You can also reach me by phone, 773-932-8608. If I don't answer right away, you can send a text, or you can also email me at candytrailflavor@gmail.com. I do things all throughout the year where there are giveaways. Actually, that's just the most recent one that I am doing. I'm also trying to orchestrate in January some things where there's like actual clothing giveaway, as well as healing services from myself and my students. That is a part of our training. The Creator gave you this gift, so I require you, if you're going to train with me, you must do the give back. And I also give back as well.
Very cool. And don't worry, we're actually going to post her, Shneema's Lotus Love, we're going to post that to the fan page so that you will be able to get it off of Ignite Your Soul Connection. So you'll be able to get her email address, her fan page address. You'll be able to go over there. So don't worry if you didn't get a chance to write it down. We'll post it. Okay, go ahead. Aaron, what do you have to give away, or how can people reach out to you?
The giveaway that I have is a free angel card reading. So if you're listening to this broadcast, or if you're replaying this broadcast, what you can do is email me at sathorayemaya@gmail.com, SATHORAYEMAYA, and in the subject line put IYSC listener, which is Ignite Your Soul Connection. And be sure to include your name, contact info, and your preferred method of contact for the reading, and your question of interest. I also offer free affirmations, free customized affirmations through my website. My website is erinjenkins57, ERIN, by the way, 57, .wix.com/findyourhappy. And yeah, I gave you guys my email, my website, on Facebook. You can contact me. It's www.facebook.com/lovelifeevolve.
Yay! Thank you, Aaron, and thank you for just really taking time, because you're a little bit later. It's an hour difference, so I know we're moving into your bedtime. So thank you for sticking it out. Okay, what about you, Teresa? Do you have anything coming up? Do you have any giveaways? And then how can people reach you?
So we didn't tap into the closet coaching, but I do offer free consultation I can come to your home. We can discuss what it is that you'd like to create. Um, Also, the best way to get in touch with me would be email me at closetcoach2012@gmail.com. Also, you are more than welcome to reach out to me at any time via email. If you want to have a free consultation on a situation you're finding yourself or you're finding yourself stuck, if you have any questions about Reiki, if you have any questions about religion and what this all means and where you're stuck, I'd be happy to assist you with that. And really, that's it. That's all.
And Teresa, we'll do another when we do next year. We're actually going to be doing Coach's Corner, so I'll actually feature you with your closet coach because you know it's going to take something for people to get that they need this service. Some people think that it's just about how they dress, and they don't realize that it's about letting go of different layers of their life that they're holding on to. So you're going to have a whole show by yourself. So
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. Appreciate that.
Yeah, so that'd be great. Okay, and then last but not least, Alanda, what's going on with you? What's coming up? What's your giveaway? How can people reach you? And everybody, we will post this to the fan page.
My phone, you almost lost me. My phone was dying. Well, what I'm doing right now, and Aaron is actually partnering in with me with this. We have an event coming up. It's a 21-day goal intensive Happy New Year workshop, which is setting news. When I go and I start reading, I'm like, oh my God, I love how we're all getting aligned with this with the services. So right now I am doing the that's coming up in January. So if you want to know more about that, I'm going to give you a link in a minute. And then a giveaway that I have right now. I do have a giveaway. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you, Alanda.
Okay, can you hear me? Everything's blacked out. All right. Okay, so what I'm doing for a giveaway, I do offer like kind of a coaching on demand. It is a 15 to 20 minutes of just maybe like some overview of what you need for right now. And it's not a consultation because I will send a questionnaire before we have our initial coaching on demand, which is 15, 20 minutes. I'm doing that for free. I'm taking 6 people. The first 6 people that hit me up, I will give that information. I can get in contact with me. How you can find me, very simple. I have a link. It's about.me/Goldie Loves You. That is Goldie Loves and the letter U. So it's Goldie Loves You. You go on there and you can get access to all of my links, my fan pages. You can email me. You can find my website. So that's a little more, because I have a lot of link me is Goldie Loves You on about.me.
Thank you. And again, we will post all of the giveaways, all of the contact information. So I noticed that Alanda was going in and out a little bit. So if you missed that, we will have her offerings posted to the Ignite Your Soul Connection fan page. And I also want to let listeners know that we support a fan page called the Tao of Surrender for Men Only, and it's on Facebook, and we post things in there. We do offer courses from time to time for men. We do offer meeting circles or hangouts where we can specifically talk to ways of supporting you. So for men who are listening, please join the fan page or the community called the Tao of Surrender for Men Only. And you know, this is one of those gifts that we offer this time every year so that we can encourage you to take time to be inside of the winter solstice. So as we, you know, in this program, I'd like for each of you to give me an idea of how you're going to spend the winter solstice this December 21st to the 24th. And it doesn't have to be anything elaborate, but, you know, just so that people who are listening can get a sense of, you know, what you do and maybe what they want to incorporate into their life as well. So who would like to go ahead and speak to that first?
I'm gonna go ahead. I just have great news. My mom just arrived back home. You know, it's crazy. She's a beast. She's a beast. I know, right? So, wow. So what I'm going to create is fasting. So I'll be fasting from the 21st to the 24th. It's a time for me to go another level. It's when my spirit is ready to speak clearly. My spirit is not full of food and liquor and stuff that it's just not a place for that to be present. So I got really clear because I was wondering, I said, what should I give up? What should I do? It's like, oh, you don't have to give up anything. You just have, and this is just me speaking, spirit speaking with me. You just have to be ready to move to the next level. So that's what I'm committed to. Just really being clear on what my calling in this world is right now, and I need to step up to that.
Thank you. Very good. Very good. I love it.
So
Okay.
Excuse my.
Is it that you, Orlando?
Yes. What I'm going to do, and I got married on the solstice on the 21st, 2 years ago. So besides celebrating our anniversary, I am going to use this time to clean up relationships. Anything that hasn't, that hasn't been, like, I won't say closure, but any type of openings, because this Mercury will be in retrograde. So I definitely want to take this time between the 21st and the 24th to clean up relationships, reach out to people for 6 months or almost a year. So this is the time, not just because it's the holidays. I want to use this time to patch up, reconnect, and just release anything, or allow them to release, because that's something I've been resistant to open the door for letting people lash out at me, because I just didn't want that. So this is the time I'm going to use those days, not 21st, but the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. I am going to use those days of communication. I am going to communicate and allow other people to communicate with me during that time. I'm not saying they can't communicate with me afterwards, but I would, ask them to wait until after Mercury retrograde is over. No, I'm just kidding. But I am going to use those days, the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, to rebuild and repair and listen, have relationships and communications to really get cleared up before the new year, so I can help prepare my new year resolution in 2016.
Very cool. And it's so wonderful because people are a little bit softer this time of year. So even making that approach to them to say, is there anything that you need to say to me that will allow our relationship to move forward? That in itself is such a generous gift. So thank you for taking that on. All right. So let me see. Aaron, I'm going to let you go because I know you were having some phone challenges. What are you going to do for the winter solstice?
For the winter solstice this year, I usually use this time of year to reflect on the year that passed and to just regroup and recuperate. I'm very quiet, very still, very reflective. I don't usually take on too many projects or put out any new services or anything around this time. I just usually use this time to just be still and be quiet and just regroup. And, you know, with the sun being the way that it is right now, um, it's important to conserve your energy or be more efficient with your energy. And then I also read that the 25th through the 31st, all the planets will be direct. Utilize that energy. And I actually have done so much this year in 2015, so I really just want to take that in and just, you know, be appreciative of how far I've come and how much I've grown and how much I've accomplished this year. So that's usually what I use this time for.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That sounds amazing. All right. Let's go with you, Lotus Love. Take us on out. What are you doing? How are you honoring the solstice? And then I'll finish up after you're done.
So actually, the 20th actually is a very powerful day energetically, and so I thought I was going to do my last Reiki class for the year. Actually, I thought it had already passed, but Spirit said, no, you're going to do one on the 20th. So on the 20th, I'm actually going to usher in some souls to remember who they actually are and what they came here to do on the 20th. Also on the solstice, that's a time to go inwards and, yes, reflect and align yourself and adjust. And going into what Alonda was saying, Mercury goes into retrograde on January the 5th. That's after, you know, what we consider solstice day, but that is a time, because that is Mercury being the planet of communication. A lot of times people get things confused. There's a lot of miscommunication. So I'm going to work within the throat and also continue to go inward, because I know that a lot of energies that are happening around that time, there's a lot of misunderstandings that occur. So I want to address what's happening on the inner part of myself. So when I am faced with these conversations or interactions with other people, I'm clear of my role and my place in things. There's a lot of, you know, readjusting of that word being selfish that I'm going to do. So I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to go dancing. I'm going to go to a spa. I'm going to do a lot of, you know, spiritual work and spiritual baths and a lot of prayer for myself and focusing on me, because, again, I know I got a well and I got 50,000 plus people I got to give water, and nobody else can give them that water from that well. So I have to go inside and go out the year with a bang of, let me adjust me. Let me see who I am. Let me see what I have done. Let me see what could stand a little more love within my own self first. That's where I plan. I have some projects that are, you know, in the making right now for January, and as far as with my writings and books are concerned, but I know that going inside myself is going to allow me the space to hear clearly what I need to hear, so that I can do what I need to do. I'm really excited about the dancing. I love dancing, so I'm all about doing what I need to do for me and you know, my children as well. Just from focusing on that.
Very, very cool. Yeah, dancing. I love dancing too. I actually am doing a lot more creative, but this solstice, I'm going to do a lot of regeneration. I'm excited that we're in the season, coming into the season of Capricorn, and my birthday, my solar return, is January 2nd, and so I usually use the solstice to recapitulate the year, to actually regenerate at the soul level, to really make sure that I'm whole and complete with myself. And just really that energy is so perfect, so I'm going to sleep, I'm going to be in a bath, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to have my yoga mat out, I'm going to fast. Actually, I'll probably fast and also do some detoxing. And speaking of detoxing, so our last show, our final night, is tomorrow on Friday, December 18th. We have one of the most amazing detox doctors in Chicago, and she happens to be a Master Force certified life coach, and she's going to spend time with us talking about holistic detoxing. So make sure that you join us tomorrow for our last night. Our topic is holistic detoxing, high quality nutrition, HQN, and then also visualization. Visualization is one of my most delightful tools on the planet. So we have Tammy Matthews and Tanya Smith with us tomorrow. Make sure you join us at 7 o'clock sharp. And really, thank you so much. And for all of you coaches, thank you, thank you, thank you. Alanda, Lotus Love, Shnima, Chayez, Aaron, and I have to get your other name. We have to work on that, right? And then Teresa, I know Teresa left to go and hug on her mommy. And then for those in the background, Icha Devi Ra, Kiana, Kim, and then Anthony McCalvin for allowing me his space. So thank you, everyone, and just really have a great rest of the evening. And I so appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to log out now.